Okay, so today I think I have very little patience for just sitting around and doing nothing while things are happening. Hello, it's me. I live again. Hi. I, of course, am alive today. Not sure how or why, but yes, I do in fact live again. Um, so I'm I'm very tired. I thought I had an appointment today, so I only got like 3 hours of sleep total. And I woke up and I went and like double checked and nope, it wasn't today. So here I am. I did try to get more sleep. Um there is this weird problem I have whenever it comes to insomnia. And it's that if I attempt to sleep and force myself to sleep, it actually becomes painful or occasionally some other stuff. Eventually, it ends up being painful. I managed to get like another hour though, so I'm running on like 4 hours of sleep total for the entire day and whatever amount of coffee I just drank. Realistically, no cat. I don't know how long this is going to last. For fuck's sake, foot, please stop. There's nothing on my foot. I don't feel any. Second, I'm going to shift my entire body so I can hold my foot off the ground so I don't feel anything on my foot. I'm not going to explain what that's about, but so yeah. Amongst my attempt to sleep, I suffered a couple of things outside of just like random pains while attempting to sleep. I ended up having this situation. Do you know the falling sensation whenever you're drifting off to sleep? That happened almost every single time I was almost like to proper sleep. And I've encountered a new situation too where I can almost consciously become aware that I'm falling asleep. Like, I was lying there, basically doing what I normally do whenever I try to sleep and completely emptying my head of all thought, which, by the way, is a skill I had to learn to do, like, forcefully on myself so that I can get some sleep occasionally. Yes, I literally learned a technique from, like, Shinto Buddhist belief called Mushin Noshin just so I can attempt sleep sometimes. My life is a wreck that I've gone to such lengths. Anyways, that happened. So I was sitting there and I was like, sorta conscious, sorta not. I realized I was even snoring. And I just had this bizarre moment where I was halfway asleep, halfway awake, and just going, I'm not fully conscious right now. And unfortunately, that woke me up immediately. And the worst parts of my brain are telling me I should completely attempt to turn that into, what's the terminology where you're able to control dreams? Like, control your dreams? Because it's just like, oh, I could do that and get rid of bad dreams and have better sleep. So yeah, I have had a weirdly eventful amount of attempted sleep today. To explain what's going on with the game, by the way, on the offline time that I've spent with it, I did do a little bit around the town while I was just kind of regaining sanity, healing, blah blah blah. As you can see, we've set up a couple of other hydroponics. The two other towns I did go to and make sure that they're okay. Those outposts will be fine for now. I cured some diseases while literally just standing around. I got another infection, so I had to heal that. And as you can see, we're kind of running into a situation where I need better power options too, because this is getting fucking ridiculous. So yeah, I'm fairly tired, fairly like off put by what has happened today, just entirely in the attempt to sleep. And I am now just kind of goofing off, streaming for maybe 3 or 4 hours before I attempt to sleep again, because I know I can't sleep right now because it's a weird feeling I get. And I'm running mostly off coffee. So, yeah. Amongst what I did, I attempted to do a little more decorating. Um, I don't know how the cow got in here. I don't. When did I get a cow? Did that happen last stream? Where did this cow come from? I. It's not hostile? No, it's not. Huh. I really need to start making clips. Just cuz the hi cat. This has been a very abnormal amount of things lately. And that gave me the strangest like feeling of just like, is anything that's happening right now real? Am I awake? But no, I'm awake. I'm aware that I'm awake, and I know that I'm awake. So yeah. Um we're not going to attempt this stream to get into the asylum. I am still trying to fix the sanity levels. Luckily, everything that we've gotten is pretty good. We're not going to run into any issues with that. I think my primary goal today is just fix up sanity, work on building up some of the town areas. Possibly poke around a couple of places to see if we can't find new power options or like water purification. Now, the main problem with that's going to be is that we're kind of just waiting. Hi, Chris. Hello. Before I go to sleep, hope you're having fun. I am having a day in my existence where everything doesn't feel real anymore because well, that's the entire explanation I had. But yeah, you have a good sleep. So yeah, let's take a bit of a look around and see what we can do. I'm probably going to leave this place as is for now. I'm not too interested in using it for anything. I mean, we can grab some of that, but it is producing stuff, and that's mostly just what we need of it. Oh yeah, I am also not wearing the backpack that I usually am, just because I didn't feel like having the agility down from it. We're going to need to gather up a fair bit of wood, though, to help build the new town. It's going to be the drive-in, but that's going to all be well. So yeah. Let's see. I am vaguely considering what areas I need to avoid. Realistically, if I just continue kind of decorating and avoiding actually doing anything, the library will reset in time and we can attempt an attack on it again to get the plans, but I'm not really foreseeing that as being possible. I can rework the loot and enemy respawn timers with the mod menu, but I'm not entirely up to doing that as well. So yeah, let's see here. I shifted my foot and it's now on the ground again, and I can feel things crawling on it that don't exist. God damn it. Okay. Just shift that off the ground again. I kind of just got into a comfortable position again, accidentally. Second. Okay. But yeah, this is going to be kind of a calmer stream, I suspect, hopefully, where I just kind of work on some stuff and relax a little bit because I'm not really all that awake anymore. In fact, I'm kind of very tired thanks to everything. But yeah, 3 or 4 hours is the goal right now, and hopefully it works. If I pass out suddenly, that would be bad for health and viewer belief that I'm actually taking care of myself, so I'm not gonna do that. Yes. Anything respawn over here? Oh, fuck! Yes, something did respawn over here, and they saw me first. Luckily, they did not have very good aim. This guy's going to be a problem, so... Oh my... Okay, the guy with the gun is going to have to be dealt with first. The more productive their settlers, I see. So the happier they are, the better. Yes, understandable. That guy got a headshot off on me. That's hyper fucking annoying. What the fuck are we gonna do with this? The subway system beneath Boston. Oh yeah, the Federation. Those are the guys we don't have a problem with because their guys on the upside don't bother us or attack us on sight. Okay, this guy has aim and that's pissing me off. Where'd the person's weapon go? By the way, things are getting a little fucky again. So this motherfucker has a gun and knows how to use it. That's an issue. I hate that this spot has constant respawn, as useful as it is. But trying to get past this spot is a massive annoyance sometimes like this. Alright, please load. God damn it. I sure do think this game is, you know, functional. Yeah. They're using a slow weapon. That's the only fucking goddamn reason. Okay, motherfucker. I'm going to skin you and use your face as a fucking toilet cover. Because you are shit. Okay. That's probably a terrible save too. God damn it. Every time he does that, we have this long reload, and it just reminds me yet further that Bethesda can't code. Please come on. They're using a proper rifle. That's hyper annoying. Luckily, they missed repeatedly there for once. You've run out of your ammo, haven't you? Yep. Wow. Couldn't even put up an actual fight, huh? What is this you had? What were you using? Oh. Oh, okay, that, yeah. You dare talk bad about God King Howard's coding? He doesn't code. He has never coded, I don't suspect. What quality is this? Calibrated quality. This is actually a really good gun. Jesus. Yeah, no wonder they were fucking one-shotting us with this. It's actually a high-quality weapon. Also, I'm gonna have to carry it like this due to everything, weight related. Okay. How's the mod been? Still fucking me over. Realistically. Caught a bit of the last stream. Yeah, there's a reason today's stream is going to be a much more calm. We're just kind of go about our business and get some stuff set up kind of thing outside of me being incredibly tired today. Basically, we're going to kind of set up some settlements as like outposts that we can travel between. Yesterday kind of proved, good God, we were in a bad situation half the time. That's actually a gun I might put on the wall. Where's my backpack? If I'm going to just be running back and forth, I might as well have that on. There it is. We don't necessarily need the agility right now. Okay. So once we have the wall completed, we're going to need to set up some food, the beacon, power, and possibly a couple of beds. Then this place will be able to be kind of left on its own. We still ultimately need to find schematics for water purification, but at this point I'm kind of just labeling that as a it will happen whenever it actually happens. Okay. Yeah, wood is going to be an absolute pain in the ass, though. And our general store person does not sell a supply of wood, which is really annoying. At the very least, things will be set up slowly. I wish I could tear down the power line thing here. That thing's useless. And just kinda in the way. But yeah, one of our biggest expenses for actually making sure anything's built is in fact the walls around the settlements to help protect them. Some of the smaller areas, it's not so bad. Driftwood Shack and the boathouse both were fairly low cost to actually set up. This place, though, we're definitely going to have to do some scavenging. Maybe eventually we'll get somebody who will actually, you know, sell us wood shipments. The person we have really only has concrete, which, as useful as a resource as that is, I'm not wasting insane amount of money on concrete walls whenever it does not matter. Plus, those don't really snap, and I don't like the way they look, per se. Oh yeah, you're still here, dead person. Let's see, yeah. I guess we kind of just loot about and see what wooden items we have left about, too. Technically, I could strip guns for wood and metal, but it's not exactly a great idea to do that until I have the scavenger or scrapper perk, which we're not too far off from being able to take without issue. We've kind of got all the other perks we need at the moment for everything outright. I'm not looking to particularly attack any locations outright either. This is a place I've not really gone into. Oh, something to restore sanity. Let's see. An overdue book. We're going to need those. Turning those in at the library to get the medical journal is also on the list of things to do. Stop trying to get away, dead thing. And, our sanity, I think, has gotten back up below or above the, like, insanity level, even without our alcohol restoring, like, 20 points of it. Hopefully, we're able to get up to probably the 50 or 60 range, but there's nowhere in the game that will tell you what your sanity level is without having to use console commands. So I'm kind of just guessing. Relatively certain right now we're in probably the low 20 range for sanity value, with 100 being max. Though with alcohol addiction, our sanity is permanently debuffed by 20, so our max is practically 80. And killing people is like -1 sanity. So we really kind of just have to avoid it right now. Toy truck. Not sure what that has in it. I guess we can check it real quick. Let's see here. Toy truck is screws and steel. Yeah, okay. It's 10 wood per wall segment. That's the real annoying part. And you can't really necessarily produce wood. At best, you can have people assigned to, like, scavenger tables to kind of help get good things. But there's no real production tables in the game, which... stupid. I don't know why they didn't add that as a base game feature, especially whenever they added a vague attempt at automation. But the worst thing is Bethesda made this system, which was not the worst immediately off the bat. It functions and it works here. But then, basically, with Starfield, it's kind of obvious that they're not going to care. Like, the only thing they did in Starfield was add production facilities, and they just removed all the reasons to ever have settlements. They made it god-awful, in fact. And I don't know what to expect from the next Elder Scrolls game. Other than bad. But yeah. We could go into the Easy Mart, or whatever it's called. The supermarket Easy Place. I don't know what they call it anymore. I'm too tired and fueled entirely by coffee to give a shit. We're just here to gather wood. Can't cut down any trees. By the way, the storms have not stopped. It has stormed almost every day in-game. Still. I don't know how many days we're out from, like, the last stream, whenever that ended, but it's more than it probably should be for how long that's taking. Also, yes, I know there's stutter. I've attempted some stuff to fix it, but it's just kind of something we're going to have to deal with for now. Okay, let's just go down here. This was full of ghouls. I'm pretty sure I killed everything in here, though. Just cuz. Fighting ghouls is probably one of the least awful things for our sanity. In fact, I'm pretty sure killing these ferals gives you some sanity back, which would be a reason to attack somewhere with ferals, I guess. Though I'm not entirely interested in doing so, to be honest. I can see all the dead got cleared out somehow. Trying to think where I can even go, potentially, to get some more materials. We really have kind of just cleared up so much stuff, though, that part of it's just like, I'm not real sure what to do until we get stuff back. And if I had to guess, from the end of last stream, we're probably a week out. 6-7 days from that last point. So we probably have, what? Well, 18-ish days, potentially, that we need to waste before things start respawning. Which is doable if I just, let the game run offline. I could also change the numbers if it proves to be annoying enough, just to allow stuff to respawn, but at the same time, I'm not too interested in that in the realms of just like, yeah, that's part of the design of it. And sure, it's mods, you can adjust things, but leaving things the way they are also built as is kind of one of those things that I do sometimes. Or better or worse. Oh, and just cause like it's been on my mind and something to babble about. So I started looking more into Labyrinth of the Demon King, that game, and like kind of looking over the story and thinking about it, trying to figure out exactly what was going on there. And the more I kind of looked into it, the more I kind of started liking the story of that game. Now, to preface what I'm about to talk about, I will also gush about the story, but there's a bit of it that I want to point out that makes me kind of like, man, the internet is definitely a place, isn't it? So, whenever I started looking, that game is slowly getting a little bit more attention from like horror channels and other people, which is neat. I'm happy about it. The game does deserve some more attention for how well it does some stuff. Combat is still iffy AF, not gonna lie. But I came across one channel where the guy did a review of the game. Small channel. Just kind of looks like somebody's hobby channel, you know? And he completely missed that there was anything deeper in the story, and I was like thinking about how he did it, and then I realized he wasn't reading any of the notes, and I don't think he read the dialogue per se past a certain point. I was like, oh. So to talk about that game's story in as little like spoilers as possible, because it's something you kind of can pick up immediately by dialogue and events. The game is pretty clear that what's happening is not in the realm of the living. And anybody with an understanding of Buddhism, specifically the punishments of the Buddhist hells, there is a very blatant thing that is going on, and the game doesn't shy away from talking about it because it directly gives you like the notes about the Buddhist hells in areas that they kind of line up with that I somewhat missed immediately, but I'm further thinking about it. I was like, oh, that's what that is, isn't it? So the game is kind of clearly taking place in the Buddhist hell. And your character is somebody going through, and I'm not sure exactly how much of the Buddhist hell you're going through, but you're going through, at the very least, the Buddhist hell of repetition or rebirth, depending on translation. And the deal with that is, and it will sound very blatant once you actually like hear what that is. In the Buddhist tale of repetition slash rebirth, souls of the sinners are subjected to violence over and over again and are killed repeatedly. Every time they die, they are revived fully intact and fully healed. And depending on what versions of it you read, it's either the Oni who are like violently ripping people apart and attacking them, or it's a combination of the like punishment demons and like the people themselves in the hell fighting each other until their like karma is cleared, basically. And with the very basics of that game, it's like, oh yeah, that makes incredible amounts of sense. And is very clear as to what's going on. Roasted fish. So yeah, at the very least, there's like metaphoric depictions of most of the hells in the like Buddhist texts. And there's one very blatant, like, yeah, that's kind of what's going on one. And kind of helps explain some of the stuff that happened in the ending too, and some of the stuff the final boss says. To which I'm just kind of like, okay, yeah. There's a couple of videos I'm actually going to possibly watch tomorrow or later, depending on whenever I properly can feel sleep after stream. I'm just very curious about how go and what other people have to say about it, because there's some details I'm still like, I'm not incredibly certain on, and I just kind of want to see. That's 15 wood. Where do I want the main gate to be? Maybe somewhere in this area is the gate. It can always kind of be moved whenever we fully expand this out, whenever we have the capacity to do so. Food-wise, I'm trying to determine exactly how I want to do this. I'm going to need to set up food here if I'm going to have people, but we're kind of going to need the seed goop for that, for the mushrooms. I can do that fairly easily, especially whenever we're having an income of the actual, like, everything we need for it. Thankfully, the cows are producing fertilizer, and I'm still not sure how I got the one. I probably set up a trap for it and got it, but yeah. So yeah, I actually do think Labyrinth of the Demon King is fairly well written and has a story that is clear on what's going on for the most part, but still gives you leeway to think about it and figure out exactly what parts are what and what parts of the metaphor are happening where. But yeah, also to point out something with that Buddhist tale of repetition. It's for people who have committed intentional violence and murder. Basically, for people who kill intentionally. Which is, yeah, very, very much something that I'm pretty sure the game is clear on your character having done. But since I don't want to, like, potentially spoiler that game for anybody who will or is watching, I'm just going to say it's a good game. I like it. I'll take that. That's actually an okay item to potentially, like, reconstruct some basic stuff with. If nothing else, to pull off its modifications from. Which I also need to kind of do. Is there anything left in here? Or have I pretty well looted everything? There's a broom. That's actually wooden. Oh yeah, I guess I need to also head up to the brain. What is it called again? Satellite station. How much weight do we have on us? I might want to... yeah, let's head back, throw some of this stuff in there, and we'll make our way up to the satellite station to loot that place a little more. But yeah, as I said earlier, we're not going to attempt to figure out what the public's work key is, and we're kind of just going to leave the asylum alone today. I'm not awake enough to deal with thinking about it. Boing. I'm trying to think about my food schedule for the week and what I'm going to have every day. There's definitely going to be several days where meals are pretzel sticks and cup noodles. Not because I necessarily am incapable of getting more food, but I just refuse to go outside this week with the way the weather's going in the prediction. To my fellow Americans, oh god, the heat. Oh god, the heat. Well, summer has indeed arrived. It was actually thundering earlier today, but it didn't rain, which I found kind of fascinating. Usually we don't get that kind of weather here until like a little bit later into the summer, whenever droughts tend to take hold occasionally. In which case dry thunder starts happening more. But so far the year has been not the most awful for me. It's going to be hella warm here. It's humid AF. Yeah, it's humid as shit here. The other day, whenever I walked to the store to get some food, which I think I mentioned, took an extra mile because I went to a place that was closed, like, at the time I got there. Which, it was like 85, 86, 87, somewhere in that kind of range of mid-80s. And it was 70% humidity. I could taste the water in the air. That's how fucking bad humidity was getting that day. Oh, God. It's not fun. Especially because whenever the weather gets like this, that's whenever insects start being a problem too. And so I had to also go outside and spray down my porch, which I mentioned the last stream too. And I sprayed that fucker down hard, and I probably need to go out back and spray a couple of spots down too. Just to kind of keep things out of the house. Luckily, I have an internal air system here, although, realistically, if I didn't, you'd be hearing an aircon going, because ain't no fucking way I'm going to deal with that otherwise. Especially the way this place is kinda laid out. It's real unfortunate, by the way, that government contract work is shitty, and that these places were built by the government. Ugh. Sitting next to a window that isn't properly, like, fully sealed becomes a lot more miserable whenever you have a gaming computer running too. I'm still half tempted to install an air conditioner unit into my window just to run it to keep this section of the room cold. The rest of the section of the room doesn't have a problem. The rest of the house doesn't have a problem. Just this window keeps it warm here. Ow. Where'd your weapon go? Did I disarm you? That's funny. Oh, hey, oak baseball bat. That's wood. Oh, I know who this was. This was the one person I didn't kill the last time I was here. I'm actually kind of surprised you stuck around. You know, realistically, you could have just heard the beacon and joined me instead of sitting around with your dead friends. I'm pretty sure they didn't see that I killed all the people they knew or loved or cared about. Then again, half these people, if they would just, you know, join me, they wouldn't die. But no, they have to actively be independent and, worse yet, against me. Huh. Like, I'm fairly welcoming. I actively need people to join me, but no, no, no. They have to be my enemy, apparently. Oh my god. I need to check the weather just to see if there's going to be more thunderstorms in, like, potentially the next week or so. Are there actually people here again? No, there is. Huh. Oh. This place was set already. Museum of Freedom might be reset too. Did I say freedom or freedom? I can't tell. This place reset. Can I loot that room then? No problem? I mean, obvious problems are going to happen still, but we might try to just loot this place again because we still need those water purifiers. Luckily, I also put another point into lockpicking. So lockpicking is actually a lot easier for us now. I'm kinda tempted to avoid these people as best as I can. But then again, I have ways of restoring my sanity. Alpine hammer, that's wood. Toothpaste or toothbrush. If it was toothpaste, would take it. Antiseptic is always needed. Especially because I keep getting infections and nearly dying. Do I have explosives on me? Ooh, hype them. So cool. Yeah, there are people here again. That's unfortunate. Oh.
Come back. I was having fun.
Limpin', huh? That's an unfortunate. Oh.
Just die.
Well, aren't you unfortunate? Both your legs, huh? Nice, antiseptic. Okay, the main problem is there's a lot of people in here now, isn't there? Emergency flares probably aren't a one-hit kill. How are we gonna deal with this? Especially with the others not wielding explosives. Submachine gun. Useless to me. On the bright side, this place is now repacked with supplies and wood that we'll be able to steal. Downside is my sanity is going to take a real hard hit from this. Nothing goes to waste. Now let's see.
You can trust me.
That person had a gun.
Come on, tough guy. Come on. God damn it, I need covering fire.
Yep, there goes my sanity already.
How much
Seriously?
you got left in you?
Well, apparently more than you. I'm actually surprised. You had a combat knife and you didn't manage to win this. Oh, that's a pair of Molotovs. Oh. Oh, that's dangerous. Thank you. Oh. I am the lord of this place. And you're about to die. Yeah, fire bad. Fire very bad for people, in fact. Kills them pretty quickly, given, like, a couple of seconds. Chinese officer sword. Do I take this as a trophy piece? I mean, I can. Sir, there's something wrong with your coat. You know, if there's anything that's gonna make YouTube dislike me, it's stuff like that. Anyways. There's another overdue book. That's a good find. Cigars are just basically money. Or cloth, depending on what you want more. Empty bottle. We are actually not in need of those anymore. Not gonna be upset. It's just a little bit funny that now I have to, like, restore sanity again. Oh well. Huh? Open. Take. Words mean things. Yes? Okay. It's a little bit like the, Idris and its store option being take fuse option. Which I found out, unfortunately, one day. Still funny. Alright. Luckily, our skill with lockpicking has been actually pretty decent. Oh yeah, I guess we're also gonna get a couple of pieces of meat from in here, potentially. Yep. Alright. Time to fight. I want to be careful and not actually get bit by these a lot, because there's a pretty strong possibility of getting sicknesses from these. And, oh boy, I don't want to spend even more resources on antibiotics. Because that got annoying really quickly. $10mm and some Radix. Nah. I don't think so. We already have that. How much weight do we have left? Like 1 pound. Let me see. What are we carrying that we can throw down then? Shit. Oil is always needed. Cigar boxes are actually pretty decent. 1 wood for 1.5. Throw one of those down. We can always just come back and get it. Chalk. Magazine, some dirty water. Army helmet. I'm really not interested in wearing that. I'm wearing a, like, hard hat, mostly because it has the light on it, which means we avoid having to carry around a heavy lantern of some kind. Alright, I guess we just kind of poke around a little bit, see if we can't find any schematics in here, and then leave. Try to see if we can't build some more wall. Oh yeah, most of these are destroyed. God damn it. Right side, there is food here. Also those. Those are really nice. Did you regenerate your... No, you didn't. So those are limited in that facet. Okay. Another reason I don't want to ever use them. In, like, power armor. Let's see here. Okay. Oh. That's this place cleared out again. Much to my sanity's requiem. Let's see. TV tray. Guess it's also a good way to get a little bit experience. Just unlocking that terminal if you're able to. Not really able to. I really hope that explosive thing isn't here again. The Morat. That would actually kind of be really shitty. I always prefer the forward-facing lights than the ones that we have. If I could actually have a proper flashlight in a game, I always prefer that over whatever the fuck the ring light is that we have on our wrist. Well, I guess it's not even on our wrist in this. It's actually just like... Makes more sense because lantern or like torch. Which isn't bad. Here, let's mark that since we're just kind of staying there. I might actually attempt to see if there's anything in the Museum of Freedom again. That's not going to be an easy fight per se. But if that place is respawned, the Museum of Freedom should be as well. Let's see him. Oh yeah. I've been having yogurt again. I like yogurt, especially the ones with the little candy in it. It's a nice substitute for other sugary kind of dessert items with meals. And is actually a little bit healthier, providing a couple of things that I'm probably lacking a little bit of. Boy. I am kind of tempted to start looking into other flavors of yogurt and other kinds of yogurt. I have tried Greek yogurt. I'm not really a fan of the bitterness of that, though. So I've not really been interested in having any of it. That was weird. I need to check something. By the way, I haven't seen any sanity effects. So I need to make sure that's enabled. Enable hallucinations while insane. We have hallucinations on all the time, but they're not. If on, you will always encounter hallucinations, even if you are not insane. We haven't been encountering hallucinations. Something is wrong. Let's turn that off, because I think it might have messed up. Gotta get berries with plain yogurt. That actually sounds like something I should do. I think it's getting around the year time whenever blueberries start being a thing I can get easier, or other various kinds. Also now thinking, I wonder if I could somehow mix oatmeal with yogurt. I'm pretty sure that's a thing. I just have to look into it a little bit more. But I'm almost certain it is. We have so much drugs at this point, it's kind of funny. Oh yeah, we also have a vodka. The sweet roll is a non-sanity restoring. Can't have dairy anymore, but my lunches used to be boiled eggs and cottage cheese. Yeah. Sometimes if I get really lazy, I have some weird combos that are okay. Weird in terms of just like, easy and a little bit out of the normal. Yeah, oats and yogurt, I think. It's toasted oats or something crunchy style in it. Yeah. I might attempt to make something along that line. I know I can definitely get some oats in general, which I probably need some more of. I was there for a little bit eating some because it was like, oh yeah, you can just buy like this weirdly heavy bag for a very small amount of money of just oats. I was like, yep, I'm gonna have that. That's mine now. Okay, that trip was barely enough to do that. You know how I said it's been storming every day in game? Yeah, that's a storm brewing again. You can tell by the electric noise. But yeah, some roasted oats, oatmeal, and berries does sound like a really nice meal as just like a substitute for other kinds of sweet foods. Especially because some of the stuff that I was getting has gone up in price and other stuff has dropped. Oatmeal cookies are fairly easy to make if you got an oven too. Oh yeah, I have an oven. I I've made cookies somewhat regularly for a little while, though not like very sugary cookies, at least for the most part. But yeah, I have an oven. What else has I been using? I have an air fryer, I have an oven, I have a rice maker, I have well, I have a microwave, but I don't really like the thing outside of a couple of things being made with it. Mostly eating leftovers. I have a pancake, or not pancake, a waffle iron. I have multiple saucepans, frying pans. I legitimately actually tend to cook for myself as a cost-saving measure. I'm also vaguely remembering that I need to eventually start looking into getting a hold of at least a washing machine. I can dry clothes on a line. I've done that before. It's not that hard. No reduction pot. I don't think so. I'd have to go look at what everything I have is. But I have some stuff I also don't know what to call. Yeah, I use like 1/5 of the sugar for them whenever I make cookies. Yeah. Low sugar cookies are still pretty good. And there's some like cookies that don't really call for a lot of sugar at all that are still good. Uh, man, I've made statements before that I wish I could get a hold of some pretty decent breads too. I hate standard sandwich bread at this point. They all just taste a little bit weird. And I've still been slowly looking for a brand of like wheat bread or something along the lines that I like. But it's been one of those things. I do know, weirdly enough, this place is still cleared. Okay. Well, that might have reset the timer on it, or maybe it didn't. I don't know how it works. What was I saying? I have a rotisserie, by the way. I don't even necessarily need it. It's just like the air fryer I have is like a multi-purpose device with like the ability to cook rotisserie, air fry. I think it even has a deep boiler built into it, which is weird. All wheat bread tastes so bad to me. Yeah, there's a couple of brands of bread that I found that taste less awful than white bread. Fuck, what was it that I tried the other day? That was like a $5 bread, and it was called something other than like wheat bread that was just kind of awful. Not ancient grain bread. Ancient grain breads are weird in their own right, and I kind of don't like them. But I've been looking for just better bread to eat than standard white. And I've kind of been at the mercy of whatever the stores have around here. Oh my god, though. Dollar store bread is probably some of the worst bread I've ever tasted. Like, it doesn't taste like bread. It tastes like chemical. Which is kind of funny because I've mentioned before some of the breads and like various wheat products I've tried have this same taste, awful, chemically taste, and it doesn't even taste like real food. I literally called it like government conspiracy bread or something because it just doesn't seem real. Like, literally, what kind of fucking company name is so generic as to be called Global Brand? You can't even Google that shit at all because it's so blatantly generic. It's very light and plasticky in texture. Yeah, it's weird. I don't like it, so I like buttermilk bread for sandwiches. I have seen that. I wasn't so certain of it, but I might try it next time I go to the store. At this point, bread is one of those things I'm willing to like shell out a little bit of money for, just so it's not awful. I think we've pretty well stripped this place, and we're not going to find a lot of products of wood variety here. I will say, though, I have not found better bagged pretzels outside of a dollar store. It is weird that the pretzels at the dollar stores are always way better than the more expensive stuff. I'm just like, why is that? They also last longer, weirdly enough. I'm not sure why that is. Yeah, I think we're not gonna find anything here. Maybe there might be something left on the roof, but this place is pretty cleared. We may have to just go loot all the other wood items in the satellite building. It is very strange, though. What do I have sitting over right there right now? Cup of noodles is always something that I get at the dollar store too, because it's just like, oh hey, this is filling and isn't the literal worst thing I could be eating right now. Though, saying that, I really need to get back into making my own pastas. I just haven't seen cheap enough marinara sauce to justify it in a little bit. But now that summer is here, I'm hoping I can possibly get some from, like, local market stuff. A good can of marinara will, well, jar, really. It's always, like, the best kind is in a glass jar. The good kind will last me almost half a year. I found a food store that makes real springy type bread. That's what I get. Yeah, my town doesn't have a bakery. That's the unfortunate. Well, it does, but it's not a bread bakery. I think it's mostly pastries, cakes, and donuts there. They only open in the morning. really, really good donuts, mind you. Like that really good handmade fresh donut that isn't like overly sweet. Those are really good. I kind of wish they weren't like 3.5 miles one way. I always check that. There's nothing in it and it always makes that god awful sound. I don't know why I do this. But like that's something I need to think about more. Is that whenever people say that something is a mile trip, they mean both ways is 1 mile. Whenever I say a mile trip, I mean it's one way to get there and another mile to get back. I don't know why I say that like that, but I'm noticing a lot of people think the distances I walk are shorter than they are. So whenever I say it's a 3 mile trip, it's actually 6, and I'm not walking 6 miles for like $10 bag of donuts that are really good. At least not in the summer. Maybe once in a while in the winter I do that, but hell no, no walking that kind of distances in the summer, especially not this summer that's looking to be kind of ghastly. Okay, let's see. Yeah. How many segments of wall are we still going to need? Because we're still going to have to set up the defensive locations for the guard to work on. 2 next to the door, probably 1 over here, just as like a extra spot. So we'll probably tear up one of those and it'll be over here. Uh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So realistically, let's see. That's only 2 wood, so that will work fine for that. And these are about 10 apiece. What's the guard station's costs? 12. So we're looking at probably 70 to 80 wood total, potentially. Without doing math in my head because I suck at it, I'm just taking kind of a ballpark swing. It's kind of weird to say that I'm not doing math in my head whenever I'm giving vague number guesses. It's hard to explain exactly how I do math because it's not really doing math. It's literally just making vague lumps and kind of just taking a guess at that. I mean, I guess it's kind of math, but it's not. I couldn't give you an exact number, and I would have to sit here far longer to do that. How much wood are we going to be able to strip out of the place up there? Realistically, what I should do is head over to here and see what wood supply is there in these 2 locations. Because I'm not really going to make those outposts. This area is kind of cleared enough, and there's no reason to really build anything there per se. Driftwood and Boathouse are fine. The Starlight Drive-In is going to be a town. We're going to turn the Titan Co-op into a town. And Hangman's Alley is going to be a weird one because I'm not sure what to do with it. I don't know if we should put people in Hangman's Alley. If that place gets attacked, we're probably not going to be able to get there in time to do anything about it. So we'd have to probably pour a lot of resources into making that a defensible location. In any case, God. I guess I could attempt to find out if I could, like... Well, no, I wouldn't be able to make bread. That requires a bunch of tools I do not have, per se, and that would be a cost that I probably wouldn't go out of my way to, like, pay just to have different kinds of bread. Especially if there's still ones that I can try myself that are, like, as Seki suggested, that buttermilk bread. Honestly, I kind of also halfway have been considering just cutting normal bread out of my diet. Like, not cut bread out by any means, but how to best put this? I don't really eat sandwiches per se. They're not like something that I would have to give up what the ingredients are. Okay, brain, you want to function a little bit better so I can actually explain what I'm talking about? No. Why not? Because I don't want to think right now because I'm running on 4 hours of sleep. That's understandable, brain, but please? Okay, so what you're talking about is that you like biscuits and you like peanut butter and you like jelly. And you could make a biscuit and just put jelly and peanut butter on that, and that would be about the same thing as a sandwich, especially if it's like a buttermilk biscuit. If you try the buttermilk bread and that's not quite right. There you go, stupid. Thank you, brain. Go kill yourself. No. Anyways. So yeah. God. I am kind of still interested in figuring out new desserts to try, though. Especially anything that would be fairly cheap enough that wouldn't, like, break my budget. I try to only spend a certain amount every week on food. Sometimes I will go over that just because a week has proven to be shit enough that a little extra money to food is just comfort out of bad days. Plus, I will not ever give up pizza. Even if I become allergic to cheese, I will somehow find a way to still eat pizza. I hope I never become lactose intolerant. I goddamn love pizza. And you can make a pretty healthy pizza too, mind you. Like, realistically, all you need to do to make a healthy pizza is just kinda make it yourself. There's plenty of places that sell pre-made thin crust to use, which I often do myself because making the dough itself would be not easy here. I make my own pizza. Yeah. And you can avoid most of the stuff that would make a pizza relatively less healthy just by making it yourself. I know, especially stuff like, brain? Yes. That thing. The pig product? Yes, the pig product that tastes good. Pepperoni. Thank you. Pepperoni itself is very greasy. I've actually taken the time when making pepperoni pizza to remove grease from the pizza. It's a little bit disgusting, but removing grease isn't that hard from a pizza if you make it right and the cheese is just that right kind of consistency. And you can kind of mop up most of that grease, which itself takes a lot of calories off the pizza. Like, you'd be surprised how much you can remove calorie-wise by just removing the grease from a pepperoni pizza. I'm pretty sure there's probably some ways to do that without having to, like, directly do some stuff, but I haven't really looked that up, and I have no real interest to do so. But yeah, fuck. What was it that I made that one time? It was like I took a tortilla, actually, like a large tortilla, put marinara sauce on it, and basically sprinkled atop it a like taco cheese spice blend thing along with some cheddar, and that turned out to be somewhere between a pizza and a taco that I honestly say is pretty good and would suggest trying to people. So, bit of an odd combination, but yeah, I liked it plenty. You can like kind of top it with whatever meats you'd prefer. Da, da, da. Still just looking for anything made of wood. We're going to need a lot of it. Aluminum is useful. Oh yeah, there it is. There's a couple of plungers that was left in here somewhere. Oh. Okay, barrel skeleton. Oh my god. I'm just thinking about food now, which is not good because I'm kinda not got any food left for today to eat. I mean, I have a couple of snacks I could still probably get away with. Especially because I'll probably be in tomorrow, technically. But hey. Plastic corkscrews. No, thank you. Man. I'd say I don't like cooking, but I like food, and I like being able to make food that tastes good. So, in a sense, that's kind of liking cooking by the necessity of the process ending usually in something I like. I'm thinking about biscuits and gravy. Do I have any food budget left the week total? I think I have like $3 or $4. That'd be enough to get some biscuits and biscuit mix and like gravy mix at a store if I really wanted to. It's time consuming. Yeah. I think the thing I hate most about cooking isn't the cooking part, it's the cleaning up after because oh boy, some of the best tasting food require some of the most annoying things to clean up after. Then again, I kind of just hate doing the dishes in general, even though I regularly do the dishes, mostly as a way to not have to do the dishes a lot. That's another stupid statement that's kind of true, where it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna wash, like hand wash 3 plates in a pot and just leave them to dry naturally on like the dryer thing, whatever that rack is called. Drying rack. Yes, correct, brain. Thank you. Anyways, stupid statement. Yes, but it's like you could wait to do the dishes, or you could literally spend like 3 minutes doing like one plate and some silverware, and it's less time consuming than like the 40 minutes it would take to do everything in the kitchen once a week. I don't know. Maybe my math is stupid. Maybe other people disagree, but that's just kind of like the way it works out in my head, and it's less annoying to me personally to do that. Then again, that also leads me to the point that I have like exactly 2 sets of every kind of dish thing. I have 2 cups, I have 2 knives, I have 2 forks, 2 spoons, and 2 plates, and like 2 bowls. And I refuse to get any more because I don't want to wash any more than that on general, like day-to-day basis. It is weird to say that a lot of the things that I do that are somewhat healthy and like hygienic are entirely done also because I'm too lazy to like let myself do anything else. Okay, we'll be able to set up at least one of the guard posts and the doorway. I'm really hoping that this is going to connect. If it doesn't, we might be in a mild bit of an annoying problem. I guess I could also just make the entire thing out of doors. But if there's anything that would defeat the purpose of a wall, it's for the wall to be entirely made out of doorways. That sounds like a stupid piece of modern art and useless. I'm kind of the same. I had to put away my extra dishes because I would just not do them until I ran out. Yeah. I do need to sit down and like properly clean everything occasionally though, and those are the days that just is like I do also think some things just weirdly feel better on a proper plate. How to put it? Whenever I make biscuits and gravy, I will put them on a proper restaurant style heavy plate. And it just makes me feel better. I don't know why. But just having some level of like, yeah, this is actually cooking food and putting it on a proper, good quality plate just kinda improves the quality of life of everything. In the, not that it's easier or quicker or more user-friendly quality of life, but literally just one of those small things that make life ever so slightly more enjoyable for dumb reasons. You know what I need to really get into? I need to really start looking into, like, proper coffee stuff, too. Like, I love cold brew. I need to look into properly sitting down and making my own cold brew. Because I don't really think I necessarily need a coffee maker with the way that cold brew works, because it's cold or like room temperature water that you use with the beans. I probably would suck at it to start with, but it just sounds like something that would possibly be better. Okay. And I need to tell a story about one of my dumbest moments whenever it comes to coffee. So, there is something called a coffee extract that you can get in these little jugs. I, in my unfortunateness, bought one that kind of looked almost the same as one of the jugs of juice that I got. Guess what I did one day? Because I don't share, like, any of this with anybody. I tend to drink directly out of jugs and stuff myself because nobody else is going to drink out of it. I took a full drink of coffee extract. That day was a day that I spent feeling the worst and the best I have ever felt. I don't think I've ever felt that awake. And I didn't want to be anymore. I don't know how much caffeine that was. I don't know if that was a safe amount of caffeine. I'm never going to do that again. I would not recommend it to anybody. But fuck, was that a feeling to have. Oh yeah, this person's already been murdered. That's right. Also, just the moment of just like, this isn't juice. After, because, you know, my dumb ass just took bottle up to lips, drank, no like recognition, didn't even attempt to taste it because I thought it was juice. I don't remember what kind of juice, but I thought it was juice, and there I was. That was a fun day. Not sure if that's exactly correct. All I know is that that was a day that I drank coffee extract by mistake. Well, that's the gist of the story. Funny as it was. But yeah, it was a feeling of true lucidity that hurt. I'm waiting for the game to stop, like, twitching. A minute. That's the boathouse. I've wandered all the way over to the boathouse. That's not the boathouse, though. That's, the compound. We're going to not attempt to deal with that right now, because they have machine gun turrets all around the wall. By the way, one of the mods that I know exists for walls literally allows you to just use that wall as a segmented, snappable type of wall. I have to ask Bethesda why they didn't just give us that kind of wall as like a base game snappable defense object. Not for points, but just, you know, as a wall. I did not realize that place was that close to the boathouse. Let's see if we have any supplies we can get from here in terms of wood slash... I think I'm also looking for carrots to turn into seeds to grow. Nice varsity jacket. Where the hell did you get that? Also, you're wearing... Is that a baseball helmet?
Got a dangerous look about you. Hope you ain't here for me.
You work for me! How do you people not remember who I am? What do I look like right now? Oh. Why do I look like that? Why am I wearing these glasses? What the fuck? Where did I get these? I see, +1 charisma. I was using it for trading, wasn't I?
You know what I call a good day? One that ends without an empty stomach.
Yeah. It took me a second to recognize that as a person. Hello.
The farm's not much, but it's something.
Hi, yes, can I ask? Why did you shave your head in the nuclear winter? And then wear, like, a knitted cap? Did you not think for half a
Blisters I got.
second that you'd probably be a little bit warmer if you actually had hair? Like, okay, you didn't shave your head. You just cut your hair short. I see. I'd still recommend growing it out so that you're warmer. Are you naturally blonde?
Yes?
Oh, I see. Thanks for the answer. Fascinating. They get the extra crop growth. We're probably not going to be able to take all of this. 70 should be around the amount we needed to finish the wall. Yeah. Yeah, I think we're good to continue now. What's with that emoji? What? Their machine guns are going off. I'm going to stay over here. Those things also don't shoot at me, I'm noticing, but that isn't something I'm going to test. Alright. So we'll be able to actually finish the wall thing. Thankfully. Oi! You can't aim for shit! What are you shooting at? What the fuck? Oh my god, it's shooting at a feral ghoul, but missing most of its shots. Are you kidding me? How am I to cross the road? What the fuck? What the fuck is this situation I'm in right now? Come on. Please? Please. Is there a safe way to cross the road with gunfire going down it? What the hell? Okay. The trees are getting twitchy again. Oh my god, there's another storm. Are you kidding me? This has been... how many in one in-game day? Is this 2 or 3? God damn it. Of course, I don't have high endurance, so running isn't as easy. God damn it. I'm starting to become tempted to take endurance perks and slowly make my way up to rad resistant stuff. Just because I'm getting so tired of having to deal with the storms happening. It's only a +5 today. Good. That's not awful. We can pretty much cure that relatively easily. But still, now I have to go to the one spot on this place that actually is rad resistant enough to not have a problem with it. Which means we have to go lie down in the little cubby back here for a couple of hours to wait this out. Oh my god. The one really good part of the endurance line being that you can take rad storms and it's actually an empowerment. Because later on, whenever you regenerate rad like damage and it becomes health, basically radiation storms are just free healing outright multiple times, as long as you know you don't die from it. But yeah, being irradiated is actually a build you can kind of run with. Fascinating, but not something I'm looking to do. Oh yeah, I guess also some of the next couple of levels we're going to run with are going to be hopefully robotics. I'd just really like to be able to start robotics soon for the fun of it. Plus, you know, free labor without any cost to it. Robots are great like that. That's kind of not gonna work, is it? Here, let's kind of expand this out. Okay. These aren't matching up. How the fuck are we gonna do that then? That's flying. Okay. Alright, this is gonna be a little bit awkward then, isn't it? I mean, yeah, no, that's not gonna work. I'm gonna make a couple of pieces to try to find a good way around this. But it's clear we're gonna have an issue. I mean, I guess if we don't want a door, technically, but that's not gonna work for me. That's gonna piss me off more than anything. Is this thing... This thing should be all the way around, but it's still not hooking up correctly, which means somewhere along this line, we've done something to not make it too good. That's annoying. Yeah, let's try this. I'm betting it's this part of the wall that has, like, the curve in it. I was trying something weird, and I don't think it's working. I put that in a skeleton. At the same time, I don't care. Yeah, the curve I put on the wall is definitely not working out. Bethesda, Bethesda, Bethesda. Why are you like this? The one that plugs into the coffee machine? Eh? Sorry, I'm a streamer. My memory lasts exactly 3 seconds out from anything I say at a good day. I need an explanation. We may end up just having to rebuild the entire wall a little bit wonkily just to get it to work. Yeah, that can be walked through, so that's not going to work. God damn it. I mean, we could go with that, but at the same time, clipping and potentially a little bit. I guess I could ignore that just so that it's actually, like, functional. We either ignore that or deal with multiple, like, minutes of me fucking with it. And I am of the opinion that if Bethesda didn't care enough, I'm not going to care enough, even though it will annoy me on some slight low level. We'll just kind of accept it for what it is. I really like that I can't pick up that skeleton, by the way. By like, I mean am incredibly upset by and angry every time I think about it. So we wasted some resources on this, and we're going to have to tear them apart for that last bit of wood we need. Oh well. That's what? 1, 2, 1 more guard post and it's good. It also doesn't snap that well, which is kind of weird. Let's see here. Put that there. Grab this. Place it there. And that's good. Alright. The problem is we're still gonna need more wood for, like, building housing and whatnot, but we kind of don't have to at the moment. As long as all the basics are down, they're not going to care too much. Anything else is an aesthetic choice on my end. Door. Build door. Place door. Come on. Actually, we can make that all metal, can't we? Where's the metal door? There we go. That's good. realistically, we just are going to need a couple of beds put down in various places around this. We can call that good for now. We can put a cot back here, I think, and it'll work out as a temporary measure. Oh, I guess we could also build some of this mod's other mod thing that I got. Beds in tents. That's an option. Well, is Sunlight Driving going to be a tent town, basically, at this point? I mean, we're going to probably pack people in here anyway, so it honestly might be. Did I get this in here with it functioning correctly? No. By the looks of things, no. Cool. Screw you. Alright, power generator. I do like that mod. I like that it adds these little tents with like lanterns in it and whatnot. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. I'm not sure what added this as part of something, but that light is neat. Also get to have these, which is cool, I guess. Functional fire. The way that makes it sound like I put down a light bulb is funny to me. I don't know why. Now let's see here. We are missing 2 crystal. Well, 1 crystal. That's easy. We'll be able to go get that. I'm pretty sure we have that at Sanctuary. Take some of the fancy lad cat. Snack cakes. Sorry. Cat snakes is what my brain was trying to force me to say. Fucking... That wasn't on purpose. I can barely speak English and I'm tempting to learn Japanese. Learn Jap. I'm gonna use the excuse that I've only had 4 hours of sleep and claim that's why this is happening. Yeah. That's what I'm doing. Check my map again. I am actually really fucking tired, by the way, if it's not obvious. I know I probably don't sound it because the, funny drink that keeps me awake is still affecting parts of my brain. But I don't know how much longer I am going to be able to uphold my consciousness without just devolving into complete incoherent babble. Which I'm sure some people would find funny, but other people would find incredibly annoying. One second. Jesus Christ, how strong of a neck do you have, corpse? Okay, I'm pretty sure I can't cut that one's head off. Never mind. I don't know where that came from. I'm pretty sure I threw it on the ground. I'm gonna keep it, though. Yeah, there we go. You actually have anything on you worth taking? You know what? I'm heading to Sanctuary. Thank you for your contribution. Let's see. I'm mostly taking all of that because whenever I need to, I'm going to take the Scrapper perk and we're going to use that for leather specifically. I don't know at what level we're going to take that at, but yeah. It's actually already been like an hour and 15 minutes. Huh. I should be careful about that. I cannot go 10 hours again today. This is mostly just a short stream to just kind of have one be here today, since most of the day was kind of spent not getting anything done. Is Chili talking about like cold brew that is plugged into a coffee machine? Because if that's something that you can actually get, then I'm going to need to actually look into that. Because, cold brew works really well in terms of keeping me awake. Water looks so weird whenever it's this dark and this, like, snowy. Oh yeah, that's one of the mods I need to install, is to turn the rain into actual, like, snow. Billy was behind or not. Yeah, I think he was. Because I can't think of anything that I said that would make any sense there. Sorry, I just want to kind of look at this place with, like, all the lights and whatnot, since we got a good dark night to do so. You know, even if I install power into all the houses, in terms of, like, lights and whatnot, I am still very tempted to just leave these here. Because look how aesthetic this is. These look really nice. Like, I understand why in modern day we use electrical lighting. There's just something, though, about these kind of old, proper little lights that just looks so cool. Yeah. Weirdly... Okay, Sky, you had to rain on my parade again with another storm?
Seems to be growing well.
How are these doing?
Seems to be growing well. Seems to be growing well.
Okay, they're fine. What am I missing here? Carrots, wheat, mute fruits, corn, tomato, gourds, and melons. Off the top of my head are things we're missing. What weird fucking timing that had. I was going to say the place kinda, with the way that the lighting was, almost looks nice and like Christmas colored, but Jesus. Reminds me of the winter nights walking through the city before all the crime. Yeah. It's almost postcard-esque to have that kind of lighting in the darkness like that. Unironically, probably the nicest this place has looked in any of the times I've built it. Normal streetlights are a thing I'd normally put up, but yeah, I just kind of don't want to waste the time for it. Here. We're gonna wait 2 hours to get rid of the storm again, hopefully. Yeah. All the trees are dead and everything, sadly, but it looks generally kind of nice now. At some point I probably should also install just something. Anything in terms of lighting in the houses. There's a couple of mods that I wish worked better with this that are nice. One of them being, what was it? I can't even remember right now. I'm just so tired. We're gonna need quite a bit of this, so we're gonna have to do some run around to get waters. It was like a proper set of heating elements that you could install into houses, like boilers, water stuff, I think it was part of the Horizons mod. Horizons would be a mod I wish I could make compatible with this. Where it had like heaters, outhouses, all kind of stuff to provide some like better happiness increases, add like some realism to town building, all that. But this mod and Horizons are both overhaul mods. So they're basically incompatible unless somebody wanted to spend silly amounts of time just kind of trying to do that. And this mod already requires so many fixes and little things to actually get working due to the unfortunate fact that Bethesda's engine is a dog shit pile. That if you want to get any of the good mods, you're going to have to get the script extender in the first place to even have. Yeah, we have plenty of crystal. We actually have a shit ton of crystal. That's interesting. Anything else I want to take? Not necessarily. Time of day is it in game? I might wait until the store opens just to see if their restock has happened yet. They open at 7. So we're going to wait till 9 because that person tends to wander the fuck around. But yeah, with the way we have everything set up, if I just stockpiled a shit ton of water here and like made sure to get all of this stuff harvested regularly, I probably could spend an actual in-game month and not leave the town. That's basically to the point we're set up, and they aren't even here at 9. Oh my fucking god. Where's our shopkeeper? Where is this doofy fuck at? Where the fuck are they? Oh yeah. Why the fuck are they always wandered the fuck away from whatever they're supposed to be doing? In fact, actually, okay, there's one of the guards. There's our cat and our cow. Who the fuck are they? It's like literally the time of day they should be there. Consumption got him. Motherfucker. As you can also kind of tell, I have spent some time trying to make these places actually look like somebody's attempting to survive in them. Unfortunately, I can't sweep up the dirt right now. There is a mod that allows that, but it doesn't work well with basically anything else, annoyingly. But yeah, I have spent a little bit of time just trying to make these places look lived in. Some of the other houses still need work, but they'll be done with time whenever I actually have the need to. A real quick way to just move that. What are you pointing your gun at, dude? Where the fuck? Huh? Okay. Motherfucker. I go looking and then I come back over here and she's just at the place.
You eat. It's as simple as that. You want to do some trading?
Let's see what you have.
You work, you eat, it's simple as that. Bitch, I built this place. I hired you. I built your fucking stall. I built the food fucking growing devices. I have worked, my friend. Now tell me, do you have anything of use? Luckily, they always seem to have fertilizer bags, which is another really good item. It's still just a matter of they seem to have the exact same stuff every single time, and mostly I don't need it. In any case, we can build up a nice supply of money doing that. But yeah, we're still just kind of waiting to get what we need. Um, okay, sure. I don't really have a lot to say about that, other than that was kind of weird. Ah, boy. Realistically, what am I going to need? I'm gonna need a shit ton of purified water to make the food that we're going to need to put there. We're gonna need at least 6 food amount of crops to be grown there. That's later on worry though, so 6 seeds. That's gonna be 12 purified water in and of itself to make that. That's not insane amount. It's just a little bit of an annoying amount because I'm gonna have to wander around to get that. We should have plenty though, just sitting around the places. That'll be enough for the 3 people who are going to live there. Water production is done. With this, the beacon will be ready. There are plenty of beds. There's the guard stations. So yeah, we're just down to needing to make the seeds to plant the garden there for them to be self-sustaining. And that's kind of the main thing I need to do, is just have everywhere be self-sufficient enough that I don't have to consistently bring them supplies or to set up some sort of trade route for them immediately. Hello, money. Mine now. Aha. Also, looking on it, I still haven't found the brewery. Going there and looting all the alcohol is probably a good idea. I wouldn't call it an amazing idea because I'm still going to take the hit for killing the like 6 or 7 people there. But it's definitely something I could do. I need to also figure out somewhere in this section of the map that has a place we can take and set up as another checkpoint slash outpost. We do have a nice setup going though, and survival will be more or less ensured at this point. Let's see. I am also surprised hunting is not a job you can give your people. Because you would think that'd be something that people in the post-apocalypse would do. But you really don't even see hunters of any kind. So yeah. I'm going to set up at least 2 people here immediately to the best of my ability. So we're going to need purified water. Where can I go to grab some real quickly? Sunshine Trading Co-op. Tin Pine, probably up there. Yeah, let's head up that way and grab those. That should be good enough. Oh, man. I am legitimately just incapable of thought right now. I am getting tired. Which, part of the point of doing it, yeah. So what else am I potentially going to do within the week? I'll have to see, and a couple of things might be doable. I also need to talk to Newt, potentially, about another Elden Ring co-op stream. Though, I don't know exactly where he's been. I guess he's been busy, so that's fine. I know he did some stuff with Edit yesterday, so I probably should at least contact him maybe tomorrow. We'll see if I remember to even do that, because I'm falling asleep and anything I say right now is probably not going to stick in my memory. It's always funny whenever I'm this tired, because I get to wake up and go, I don't remember anything I said yesterday. And if I stream, it's like I get to watch a stream and have no idea where it's going because I was sleeping in my brain, no thinky box correctly. Yes, good job thinking, me. Very good job thinking. They did a Peak collab the other day, yeah. I don't even know if that was yesterday, the day, or before. At this point, I am running purely off whatever subconscious operations my thinky box do. Oh, there's an albino deer. I kind of don't like seeing you alive. Where'd you go? Is that thing hostile? Some of the deer are actually mutated psychotic and will attack you. It being winter is also making it hard to see it. That one looks relatively normal, so I don't think it's one of the kind that attack. I don't really think is this always? I have wandered north really far. That guy's not moving. I'll leave him to whatever he's doing and just kind of go back down this way. I went too far north. Yeah, I'm sleepy. I've got really sleepy now, and I don't know what words speaky do now. I'm kind of saying stuff in a dumb way in hopes that it's in some way entertaining. Hello, look, broken. Every single game with an open world map, I always seem to find those. Just, terrain not being correct, things not being correct in a lot of ways, but oh my god. I can't even think of anything to talk about. I'm tired. I think I said that multiple times now. Did I see even anything today? I've spent so much of this day actively not even present in my own brain, which is a weird and strange feeling to be committing upon myself, but yeah. Oh yeah, at some point I also, this week, will probably see if Edit is available for another Planet Crafter stream. EP, yeah, very EP. You've gone insane from killing a crab. What? But yeah, Planet Crafter has been a fun time every single time. The 2 times it's happened. So, I'm hoping that will happen sometime later in the week. I'll just need to like see when edits are available. Something feels wrong here. Sorry, I'm having a moment where I feel like this building used to be bigger, but it suddenly isn't anymore, and I don't know why. Oh yeah, they had carrots here. You know, I might ought to actually set up something here just because it already has basically everything it needs. Now that I think about it. How much food does it have? Two? Two carrots, so about 1 unit of food. It'd need a wall, but a wall wouldn't be that hard to build. Just leave it as a 3-person outpost out here and not really make it any bigger until it necessarily needs to be. That would probably work. Just need what? A gate, a couple... No, just a single another guard post and a wall around it and a radio tower. Yeah, this place would be kind of easy to set up as an outpost. It's more or less already done. In any case, we're still here for a specific reason, though. That. That right there. The aqua. I should know the Japanese word for water, but my brain is just going ume, which is not correct. That is a body of water, not water itself. By the way, one of the main and most like encouraging things about trying to learn Japanese is being able to sometimes read Japanese tweets from like various artists I see on my timeline. It's usually not a lot, and I usually have to actually look up what something is. But, you know, I've got to the point that I actually can understand just enough to be like, oh, here's a word I don't know. I can look that up, and then I'll actually be able to read this sentence. The main problem is still kanji, and I'm still not ready to attempt to tackle that devastation. I'm just going to call it a devastation because it's... Give me a moment. Stretching for a second. Ah, my neck just popped. Okay. Okay. I can't get any more coffee either. I'm at my coffee limit for the day. Like, that's the level of tired I'm starting to hit. Realistically, what I was hoping to do earlier was sometime around like 3 o'clock my time PM. I was hoping I'd be sleepy enough to lie down and actually like get 4 or 5 hours, but no. Even before stream, which I woke up from like an hour nap and spent, I think, around an hour not really doing anything besides like eating a relatively small meal. Yeah. God. I'm hoping I'm able to sleep well tonight with how tired I'm getting. But I got this bad feeling that I'm not. So if I don't stream tomorrow, you can kind of just assume that it was a terrible night's rest and I needed the day to just like low energy mode, I guess I could call it. That still is something that I'm kinda struggling with. There are days where I'm too tired to do anything, but I feel like doing something. And so I end up just doing stuff like, oh yeah, a 3-hour stream, and then I sit down and attempt to toy with something that I've been working on, cover-wise. Oh my god. Speaking of covers, now that I think about it, bro, I have been banging my head on a wall with one lately. I love Castlevania music, but it has proven to be a horrific time trying to find specifically a pure transcript of certain parts of Castlevania music. Like, I have a hard enough time because I'm still struggling to fully comprehend music sheets on any level. But whenever I'm looking at a music sheet and I'm going, is this actually even correct? And so many times it's turned out no, this transcription is not just wrong, it is completely off. It's just like, I wasted an hour staring at this only to find out the only usable part of this is like one section somewhere in the middle. I really do need to just get better at reading music sheets. You'd think I'd pick up properly, especially whenever, I've done so many covers and gone through the effort of trying to learn, but there's just some things that is like banging my head on a wall. I just never seem to get anywhere. I think the main thing that is screwing me up is scale. Yeah, I hate music sheets. The problem is there's not a better way to even do them, though. Like, there's better things situationally, but there's never anything that's better outright. And it's just like, okay, so what scale is this in? Oh, you tell it by these little symbols on the side. Except those are also sometimes not labeled correctly. And so you have to struggle with that. It just hurts. It's just like, I hate this so much. It's why sometimes I kind of get gambler's like fallacy and I refuse to set something down because I'm halfway through it after struggling with it for 2 months. And I end up having to find something a fair bit easier to do. Luckily, Toho fans are really good about making proper transcriptions of music, though, even if it's just like parts of the song as like piano cover kind of things, where it's just like, oh yeah, this is how you play this on piano. I can like grab like 15 Toho fans' music sheets and go, okay, that's that part of the song there. And this is following that part right there. And I can kind of just go from there and vaguely work out a proper way to cover, even though it's still like nightmarish sometimes because Zune does not give a flying fuck about like standard ideas of what music is and how you make it, which makes him have some really good, unique songs. But also, it's just like, Zune, please, please stop with the sudden, out of nowhere, like 16th notes for like 30 seconds going all over the place. You're scaring me again. Especially whenever it's like, oh yeah, I'd love to do it in this style. Oh wait, this is going so far all over the place that I can't do it in that without some severe experimentation. Which, I'm not going to lie, I'm going to attempt something eventually that I have no idea is going to work out and might keep me from... Bro, why are you outside the wall? Supposed to be standing on it, not outside in front of it. Unless you're just like examining the hedges, which... Okay, I guess. What was I saying? Oh yeah. Basically some of the VSTI, the digital instruments I'm using a lot of the time, don't have the range in octaves to be able to cover the song properly. Especially a lot of the Japanese, like, traditional instruments, like the koto or the shamisen. Those have okay ranges, but because of the way, like, digital music works, a digital piano doesn't actually have an into the ranges it can hit. Whereas for a koto to sound correctly, it kinda does. And what I'm possibly planning to do is take the VSTI and kinda pitch shift it a little bit and see if it still sounds natural. Because that's the main thing that kinda stops me sometimes, is that while I could do that, it sometimes requires me to go into ranges that are obvious that it's not a real instrument at that point, and some of the stuff I really want to avoid that kind of thing happening. Much as some of it's like, it wouldn't necessarily matter, it does kind of ruin the vibe of it a little bit, which is a dumb complaint, but it's same as like anything else, I guess. This has been a weirdly peaceful stream at this point. In this hardcore survival mod, we're just kind of having a nice walkabout. Anything in this place? I forget. Ta-da! The fuck was I trying to do with that besides kick it? Nothing, just kick it, right. Let's see here. Ah, somebody's already moved in. Sorry, I was trying to replicate one of the stutters to see if it was going to happen there, but no. It's been 2 hours, 20 minutes. Yeah, that seems about right. Like I said, this is either a 3 or 4 hour stream. I'm not going to be too picky about it. This guy is currently eating the supply of food that's here. Where is this guy at? We're going to need to move some stuff into this place, particularly the water pumps, I think. Which are, I think, over here. Yeah, they are. So what will be my goal next time I play? Well, hopefully, by the next time that I play, we'll have set up some stuff, gotten sanity back to a level that guns become usable again. And from there, I should hopefully have enough supplies built up that we can start looking into some of the other materials and like things. Well, not materials, other things that we're going to need to get a hold of to start trying to get into the insane asylum. Ah, there you are. Hello. For the sake of you not eating all the food I have stockpiled here, work that. I know that the public works key is an underground door outright or most likely. So I think the goal may be to try to get some of the other keys that I know exist and then make our way into the underground and try to do stuff from there. That's not going to be a easy time. The underground is a place that I've done very little exploration of. And I know there's a vast network of things down there, most of which are going to be hostile. We could set up a store here. Once we have a third person, set up a store, kinda let it be. I think we do that. Yeah. So we'll get 3 people here. We'll work on getting the rest of the food set up because we're halfway done with that. And then once that's done, we'll have another trader and an outpost. Realistically, we've not done all that much in 2 hours, have we? We mostly just kind of spent time getting this place set up outright and babbling about whatever entered my head. I'm staring at the train over the wall, and I don't know exactly what about it has my attention. It just kind of exists there, I guess. 1 second. My lips are starting to dry out because of the way the, like, humidity is. Unironically, I hate humidity so much. Like, I have lived in both places that were dry and hot and humid and hot, cold in both ways, and humidity always makes it worse both ways. Humid and cold is awful. Drawn to the train like a moth to the flame. No, I was just kind of staring at it and going, I wish I could tear that thing apart for whatever components are in it. That, and I was half thinking about Factorio, which I've been playing in my free time too. Quote unquote playing. I think I've mentioned that I've been doing the C block challenge in Factorio. Also, 1 second. Something looks like it's running a little weirdly. Give me a moment. I'm gonna check my task manager. That didn't look good. There's some stuff running in the background that shouldn't be. Give me a moment. I wish you could you could world build more in Fallout. I wish you had a lot more options in Fallout 4 than you do. Like I was mentioning earlier, you can't have people directly gather basic resources like wood, concrete, metal. You can't really do that. You can't have people like make stuff in ways that make any sort of sense either. You're kind of just stuck. with whatever people scavenge whenever they're assigned to, like, the scavenging table. Ah, I see. That's why things looked a little weird. Okay. My GPU keeps jumping to like 92% usage. I think I know what's doing that, but I probably need to like just shut down my computer tonight just to reset everything. And those basic resources would be very important. But then again, so here's another one of the problems with Fallout 4. Food does not grow in your presence. If you're wondering why the hydroponic farms work the way they do and need special coating and everything, it's because they do not, like, food will not grow no matter how much time you spend waiting. Okay, 1 second. Game is actively, like, suddenly using way more of my graphics card than it should be. I'm wondering something. So there's this really annoying thing that happens. If you say wanted to do a never leave a certain settlement challenge, which somebody has done, you are never, unless you do certain things. And it involves going far enough away that the game tick updates actually allow stuff to happen. One second. I'm going to restart the game because it's 100% graphics card usage now, and that's not right. It should not be doing that. That tells me it has a bunch of shit loaded that's not unloading. Which is a problem that has existed in so many of their games in ways that you wouldn't expect, and it just hard crashed. Okay. Oh my god, every time I try to play this, something goes wrong. Give me a moment. There we go. Okay, loud sound warning because the menu does not have a volume slider. Don't ask me why the fucking menu doesn't have a volume slider. Same issue, I guess, of why radios are tied to effect volume instead of radio volume. Oh, that's one of the water purifiers I'd like to get a hold of. I believe that's the industrial version. That gives a shit ton of water. But yeah, crops don't grow if you're near them. If crops are loaded, they will not grow in your presence. I watched one channel do a never leave sanctuary thing and like never leave Spectacle Island, and both times he had to do stuff to just allow crops to grow. Really fucking stupid. Yeah, now the game's running better, or at least a little bit better. It's still kind of spiking occasionally, but yep, it definitely had stuff running unloaded. So you kind of have to restart it occasionally. Dumb. We can break into here now. I should try. Damn it. I don't know what we're going to find down here, to be honest. I have never actually broken into this place. It is a master lock, too. Okay, it literally isn't that cool. Come on. Damn it! Ugh. Lower. There we go.
Sweet.
I don't like that it automatically has you go through, too. That's kind of annoying. Because I might want to save before I go into somewhere that has a master lock on it, you know? I guess this place is also somewhere you could hold up if you really, really were in a bad spot, but wouldn't recommend it. Alright, what's gonna be in here? Is he already a ghoul down here? Radio. Radio, die. Oh yeah, it is already a ghoul. I can already
No way
tell.
to pick this.
Oh. You can't even open that door, huh? Interesting. Requires a key, else is opened elsewhere, actually, is what it said. Huh. Curious. I'm not sure what's in there, or if you can go in there. I've noticed the mod kinda prevents you from doing a couple of things that would break the timeline, technically. To which I have to say, we're breaking the timeline anyways. You could just allow us to have our fun. Like, legitimately, given the way this mod is set up, I'd love to be able to just go kill the Institute right now and prevent Fallout 4 from ever happening. In technicality. You know, because I don't like Fallout 4, surprisingly enough. At least the story of it. I'd love to make Fallout 4 story never happen, even if it's just in the mod. 1 second. 7%. What the fuck? I might have to do some scans later, or just to make sure defragmenting is working. Oh well. Who was building a trench? Funny that somebody was building a trench, but why were you building a trench? Like, there's not a lot of reasons to have one these days. I mean, realistically, no, that's not true. Why build a trench there? That's the better question. I have not been out over here, have I? Sorry, I'm having like a lacking brain power moment. Give me a moment to just like reorientate my brain energies into spots that make any sense. Uh, God. I'm just tired at this point. I'm not gonna lie. It's definitely not gonna be a 4-hour stream. I'm not gonna be able to make 4 hours. In fact, I'm betting within the next hour I will be completely clocked out in bed, full on sleeping. How long have I been going? Right. It's also one of those moments where it's like I can kind of tell I just don't have the energy to talk that long too outside of everything. I don't have the ability to think up topics at the moment without it just kind of drifting in through my subconscious, which is currently only just telling me, hey, you should probably sleep. And I'm like, yeah, I should probably sleep. I don't know why I checked the mailbox. That is actually something that just doesn't make any sense to have done. That'll be 2 pieces of something or other. Food in that place. Oh, wow, yeah, I am failing hard now. 2 pieces something other in that place, yep. That's enough purified water to make another seed to plant the garden with. But beyond that, there's not too much else for me to do. I need to get some boiled water. We're currently suffering dehydration. I've completely ignored the fact that my character is now dehydrating for a little bit too long. All right. Water. Water. Boiled water. There it is. I've half been considering getting a new phone just because the one I have is becoming more and more less useful. It's kinda not wanting to turn on anymore. Which, shit government phone. Not going to stay working too long, yeah. Honestly, I only needed to be able to take calls. I'm never really gonna play gotchas on an actual phone. That's just something I'm not going to do. I do have a tablet, but that mostly is just like a thing I have in the bedroom to do like the occasional Japanese lessons before bed on. Or if I really, really need to send a message to somebody, it's in there. In which case, it's still entirely through the internet, so that doesn't matter per se. I did tighten up the screw on my chair, didn't I? Yeah, it's fine now. The armrest is perfectly working. What time is it? It's yeah, I'd normally be going to bed sometime around this point, normally. Trying to, like, push just a little bit longer so I can keep my promise for the most part. It is really dumb, by the way, that YouTube doesn't allow rating until you hit a certain point. Like, I understand why not on some level, but at the same time, it's just like, they could do so much to make the systems better. As things stand, it's just kinda lame, and most of their streaming features aren't really worth it. See, we got more water here. So yeah, I'm going to set up the rest of what we need at that outpost. I will probably, in my free time, continue to poke around places and trying to somehow get a hold of one of the items we need. And from there, I'll try to get a couple of other places set up as outposts. Past that, I don't know. Just work on building up supplies, getting ready to go to the underground, blah, blah, blah. Wow, that is very hard to see anything in. It's a little bit foggy. Advertising bots would be worse if they did remove the requirement, I think. But yeah, it sucks you can't raid. Yeah. I don't know. As long as I'm streaming and, you know, not irritating everyone, eventually I'll get the ability to. It's not gonna be that awful, really. Uh, hmm. Sorry, stretching slightly again and making sure something is running correctly. Yeah, okay. It's just the Fallout being goofy again. There's nothing wrong with the computer. Just Fallout being weird. Okay. It is weird how this game loads in stuff, by the way. And yeah, advertising bots especially. So to explain how Fallout is loading stuff, by the way, this general section of the map, all three of these are loaded together. And if you ever wonder why I never have all of these be like fully stocked as a as towns, usually barely having only one of these two have any people in it, it's because this, and this are all loaded together in a same triangle like shape on the map. And if you try to turn all of these into full-fledged towns, it can lag to shit and back. But yeah, that's kind of how the entire map is done, by the way. There's just like triangles all around the map that load. And depending on where the boundary is, you can get weird places that do not work as good because the loading has too much in it. That's another one of the reasons these kind of areas are also bad, because I think the last time I looked at the chart that showed where like all the boundaries were, you got a weird amount of this place all together loading way too much in at one time whenever multiple sections of this place needed to be divided even further to load easier. I don't know if there's a mod that fixes that, but I do know that's one of the reasons that place lags so bad without patches and like fan fixes. It's weird, it's dumb, and it's just one of those other little things that like, oh yeah, that's one of the other problems with this. Okay. We're one more seed from getting the place up to 3 food. And we just need a couple of dirty water. So where is my dozens of bottles that I just keep around? This is one of the reasons why I've been slow to set places up too. Literally having this much of the resources being required to set up a location makes it take a while to build up everything. And I don't want somewhere having to use whatever food supply I've stored there to be able to upkeep itself. Which, this is probably the way it should work, because setting up an entire area to be self-sufficient and defended is an endeavor. Just in reality, you need the defenses, the walls, like, these walls are not cheap in themselves. The amount of stuff needed to make the water pumps and stuff is not cheap. Everything to do so is not cheap, and whenever you get it set up, it's a massive advantage to your survivability in the area. So I really do kind of like that setting up all these places does take this amount of effort, and the more that you've set up, the more just generally powerful you have become. And let's see, roasts. Can I make soups? Oh yeah, now that we have the one thing, we can make soup. We can make noodles. We can make vegetable soup. We can do all the fun cooking. Thankfully, we don't have a mini game. Also, I lost 39 frames, so I see my internet is also starting to become a little goofy. Yeah, it's getting to that point in the day where it also starts having issues. So there's a lot of things compounding, basically being like, hey, idiot, go to bed soon. And it's like, okay.
Seems to be growing.
I really do think YouTube could just completely destroy Twitch if it took some of its better ideas and implemented them. Like, for one, emotes. Just allow emotes to be like cross stream. Twitch partially makes some of its money entirely because people will subscribe to channels they don't even watch for emotes. And if emotes were cross channels, there would be money in that. But then again, when has YouTube ever actually made a sane decision to make money? Sometimes, actually. But that's neither here nor there whenever I'm actively saying stuff just out of frustration. Still, it would make a lot of sense to do that. Hell, they probably could also take, I don't know, some of the chat roles as an idea. Like, I don't know how hard it would be to implement. I don't imagine that hard, to be honest. I'm hiccuping. I'm trying not to let it be loud enough to be heard. Oh god, what other features could they just take from other platforms that would make sense and not be that difficult? Rating has its requirement for the reasons that it does. Honestly, thinking about raids, it really should be on by default that you're allowed to be rated, and it needs to be something that you can toggle literally in the live stream backend of the studio. I don't know why you have to go through so many other menus just to get to some of those things that really should just be right there as a tick box that you can hit. Thumbnails are a nice thing to be able to edit yourself and upload. Scheduling streams is a nice feature that I don't know if Twitch even had. But I do also think that YouTube kinda also needs a little bit of the back end definitely fixed. Like, fun fact, I'm usually not looking at the back end because it's really hard for me to hide the viewer number. That's one of the features I wish they would steal from Twitch. Allow me as the streamer to hide my current concurrent viewer count in the moment. I don't want to see that. That's going to influence how I'm feeling in the moment, and I don't want that. Live changing the titles on live streams, yeah, that's another thing that needs to be added that I imagine wouldn't take too much effort. At least, good God, I hope it wouldn't take them too much effort. You never know, though. Who knows what levels of dumb goes on behind the stream. Scene, not stream, scene. Same difference, though, really, isn't it? Alright, that's the amount of food needed here. Did I take down the cooking thing? Yes, I did. Okay. Ah, come on. Okay. I was really hoping I'd be able to put that over the fire. Uh, honestly, integration with games too is kind of something they should have. Like, that's one of the major things I think that Twitch had over and has over YouTube. Like, sure, I guess it's not the best thing ever for some stuff, but just like chat participation in games through some stuff, they really, really should do that too. Like, just being able to do that tends to also help viewership. Like, a lot of the things I'm thinking about are not just like, oh yeah, it would improve like things for the creators, but it's just also like and make possibly even the watch experience better. Let's set this up so like there's actually some level of like privacy to that, I guess. Do we have some chairs to put around the fire just for the sake of it? Like lawn chairs or something. Metal folding chairs, those work too, I guess. People are gonna be sitting there. Okay. But yeah. The one thing they don't need to take from Twitch though is you know, the getting buddy buddy with people that actively get called out by the US government for their sympathies towards certain illegal groups of extremists, even though that's against their own, you know, terms of service. Just saying. Easy way to make everybody happier. Lifting. Here, we'll give them one of these too. That'll increase happiness more. Unironically does too, that's the funny thing. Do we have the ability to put some picnic tables out too? I will never get over how much they defend that guy by giving him preferential treatment and shielding him. That stuff, like, it doesn't confuse me per se, but it's confusing in the why do you think this is a good idea? Do you think this will never have repercussions kind of way? You're going to get in trouble eventually. And this is the kind of thing that will get you in the bad kind of trouble. The kind of trouble you don't want to be in at all, because you're going to be in a courtroom facing a federal judge. And you generally do not want to be sitting in front of a federal judge on trial, because that means you're in trouble. I've never had that experience, but I've certainly watched it. We're already thirsty again after drinking like probably what, 3 bottles of water? Huh. Weird. Oh. Um Sir, madam, person, are you Give me a moment. Next time I stream, I got my thumbnail now. The image I'm gonna use for the thumbnail. Oh my god. Save that. Oh.
I
Okay.
just want to trade a few things.
Of
What?
course.
Oh. Hmm. I see. This game gets weird every time I play it. What the fuck? Guess we sleep here today? Yeah. Yeah, let's get 8 hours of sleep. Hopefully somebody will have shown up by that point. Alright. Peckish from a lack of food. That's fine. Still nobody new. Weirdly enough, I've had to tell people to actually have jobs in this now, and I'm not overly certain as to why that's happening. Not that it truly matters. Okay. Alright, well, this place is ready and able to be set up properly. I'm probably going to move these somewhere else. Realistically, this is the kind of thing I'd set out as a outpost bed, or at least somewhere that's supposed to be more military, or at least defense based. Actually taking this and putting it into Hangman's Alley wouldn't be a terrible idea. Mostly because that's a space that I need as much room as I can get. That counts as 2 beds for relatively small amounts of area. All the same. Who knows, I might end up just leaving it there because it's ultimately not hurting anything to have it be. Though people tend to like to have steady, regular, and sturdy living conditions. You know, the kind of places that can survive a strong wind. People tend to like having that. I guess I can set this up too. I don't know. Here. I have an idea to give this place just enough defense to be functional without having to worry about it. Can we get a medium generator up? Yes, we can. Okay. Here. We'll set this up here for now. Do you have a notepad or something around to remind yourself you should add a rule set to your description? Oh. I'm not going to lie. Rule sets are one of those things that kinda just happen over time. It's not that I don't know that I should have one. It's that at the moment it doesn't matter. And the most that my rule set would probably be is don't be stupid. I know I should set up one, But realistically, right now, that would be the only rule on it, is what I'm saying. I have strapped myself in a store. But I'm stupid? You haven't said anything yet. Basically, my rule sets come down to one thing. Have social intelligence enough not to, like, be a hindrance at all. Though I really do need to set up a proper description too. Include some stuff, set a role to at least have it existing. Stuff like that I do need to do. Can this reach down there that easily? Okay. You know, I was hoping these things would be running on opposite. What? What do you mean that's what this button does? Okay. Naruhodo, I suppose. I struggle to understand the design philosophy that went into this. Does anything on a wall do that? I have to know now. What can I put on a wall? I was gonna put another one of these up somewhere. Okay. Aha. I beg your pardon, game. That's what rotation does, by the way. That's me trying to rotate the item. I was trying to make it point a different direction. I knew it probably wouldn't have worked, but I wasn't expecting it to do that. So, you know. Huh. Okay. Oh. I'm sure this wire work will be redone at some point, but okay. Just wanted to add some defense value, I guess. Realistically, we don't need that one, nor do we need that. We just needed 5 power, so that will work that way. Okay. Huh. What else does that? I am curious. I don't have enough supplies to test anything, apparently. You know, this is frankly impressive given everything. What's our agility? 1? That's real impressive for a guy with 1 agility to do in full armor and gear. Huh. Okay, then. We need to find new glasses. Like, okay, that animation makes sense. The pommel horse, though, it's like, are you sure? Pretty sure, like, we should have just fell straight on our fucking ass trying to have done that, but okay. Well, anyways, this place has food, water, power, and defenses along with the bed, so it's good and set up. Oh yeah, I can't move the skeleton, by the way. I literally cannot even attempt to pick up the skeleton. I cannot touch the skeleton. I can merely kick the skeleton with my feet ever so slightly. But you cannot pick up the skeleton. No matter how much it's in your way, it's going to stay there. The skeletons are eternal. Thanks, Bethesda. Okay. I am kinda starting to drift. How long has I gone? Ah. I see we also lost a couple of more frames, so yeah. Okay, it's been 3 hours. I've actually kept my promise for once, and we've gone 3 or 4 hours. 3 is actually the amount that we've gone, though, so haha. Alright, alright, alright. I am so tired. I am so unbelievably fucking tired. And I'm going to go to bed. But yeah. So next time I stream this, if I'm smart, I will have gotten everything set up. We'd have plenty of supplies available. Definitely need leg braces and antibiotic and probably arm braces and healing supplies. Get some sleep. Yes, that's the plan. Hopefully, I'm allowed. Thank you all for being here. Hope you had a good time. Hope to see you next time. Have a wonderful time of day. Remember to do the human things to survive. And remember, no matter how dumb you think some situations can get, they can get dumber. They can always get dumber. Bye bye. Bye bye.